Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Live Oak Unitarian Universalist Congregation. Live Oak is an open, welcoming, and inclusive community grounded in love, providing opportunities for spiritual growth for seekers of all ages and stages. We actively live our values of diversity, compassion, and justice to humanity and the earth. My name is Megan Moyer, and I am a member of the worship ministry, and I will be acting as your worship associate this morning. And today's service is a special one, and it is being presented by the Live Oak Social Justice Ministry. Are all of the members of the Justice Ministry here? Everybody, stand up if you are. If you're a member of the Live Oak Social Justice Ministry, please let us see. All right, thank you. We've got a nice group of people that keep us connected with the community. And I'm very, very pleased to know that you, the Live Oak Worship Ministry, have put in so much work and effort in putting this service together. So thank you.
Thank you, Megan. Good morning. The flaming chalice was first used by the Unitarian Service Committee as a symbol of life-giving refuge for people fleeing persecution in Europe. As we light this chalice, we invoke the love that called people to put their lives at risk to save others. May we be vessels of life-saving welcome.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here. It is said that communities of faith are here to comfort the afflicted and afflict the comfortable. I say we are all afflicted and we are all comfortable. May our time together this morning be a comfort and a confrontation. May we here find peace in times of tumult. May we here invite tumult into lives of peace. May we here find calm in times of restlessness. May we here allow restlessness to evolve into action. Let this be the place you consider what you've never considered. Let this be the place you imagine for yourself something new and unthinkable. May this hour bring dreams of new ways of being in this world. Come, let us worship together.
Hi. Well, it's so many familiar faces from two different worlds I'm part of, and I'm so glad to see both worlds coming together today. Last September, I was feeling frustrated and angry and full of a sense of helpless dread as I watched our nation's descent into fascism. ICE assaults on our cities were so reminiscent of what I had always imagined being in Germany in 1933 must have been like. I knew I needed to take part in some more substantial defense of my values than carrying signs at organized protests, as important as that remains for me. Fortunately, 805 Undocumented held a community meeting at Live Oak, laying out a variety of activities that were available to support the most vulnerable members of our community. Within a week, I was attending another meeting held at the cause offices in Santa Barbara, but run by SB Resiste, who were organizing patrols to monitor and document illegal ICE kidnappings. Since then, I've been going out twice a week. And while I've run into ICE on several occasions where I witnessed and documented what are definitely illegal kidnappings, the most important benefit I have derived is from the people I patrol with. Their sense of righteous anger at injustice is matched by their compassionate care for their community and one another. Our patrol meetings are models of deep listening even during the practical demands of planning and responding effectively to the changes in ICE policies and activities. This organization, in addition to protecting our immigrant community, organizes and hosts campaign forums and works to alert the communities on laws like the ones affecting massage parlors that can have profoundly negative impacts and effects on the economically vulnerable in our community. The fundamental goal of this organization continues to be to prevent kidnappings, monitor ICE activities, document violations, notify community members of their rights, and provide mutual aid to families devastated by detentions and disappearances. But as they do this essential work, they build strength and resilience in both the volunteers who do this work and our community. Please give generously to this organization who is making the kind of good trouble our nation needs now. And if you are like me and feel that protests are necessary but insufficient to resist the evil our nation is currently facing, you might consider showing up at their meetings and getting more involved. Thank you.
Ready? All people, regardless of immigration status, country of residence, or country of birth, hold unimpeachable human rights outlined in the United Nations Universal Declaration of Human Rights. All of us are born free and equal. And should treat one another with dignity and respect, regardless of race, gender, country, religion, language, political opinion, or social status. All of us have the right to live as we wish. All of us have the right to be protected by laws. To have those laws apply to us equally and to seek justice when our rights have been violated. All of us, when we are old enough, have the right to choose whether and whom to marry and to create families. All of us have the right to work, to be paid fairly for that work, and to have rest and holidays. All of us have the right to live healthy lives with food, shelter, safety, and education. All of us have the right to hold opinions and express them freely, to gather peacefully in groups, and to participate in and enjoy the arts. We, the people, are the basis for government. All of us have the right to participate in governing and to freely elect our leaders. No person or country should limit these rights and freedoms except to ensure them for all. I'm here to introduce our speakers, but I want to just take a moment to share with you something that just came in to my Signal account this morning from Primi, who is the head of 805 Undocufund. And she writes, to all of our volunteer organizers, we were recognized as Nonprofit of the Year, and this belongs to every single one of us. 805 Undocufund is not just a nonprofit, it is a movement powered by people who care deeply for our communities and who refuse to stand by while undocumented people are criminalized, targeted, or left behind. This recognition belongs to every patroller, rapid responder, mutual aid, operator, canvasser, and volunteer who has shown up for our people time and time again, including my own family. It belongs to everyone who answers late-night calls, supports families in crisis, knocks on doors, distributes resources, and protects our communities with courage and compassion because we keep us safe. So I just wanted to share that. I thought that it makes me so proud to be part of that organization as well. 805 Undocu is an ally of SB Resiste. We work closely together. And now, for the special part of our service, it is my honor today to introduce our speakers, Anna Arce and Anthony Rodriguez. Anna is a policy advocate with Cause, working on, I'm got a little froggy, sorry about that. Working on building community power and lasting systemic change. She is currently working on housing justice and rent stabilization in Santa Barbara. But I know Anna as a powerhouse organizer for SB Resiste. Anna has been the person who sets up meetings, designs beautiful posters, organizes outreach so that our community can be informed about ICE activities in our neighborhoods. She is my go-to person whenever I need red cards to hand out on morning patrols. Anthony works to support families in crisis, as you can see by his work at the food bank where he leads disaster preparedness efforts. He is co-founder of the Santa Barbara Response Network, offering psychological first aid to people impacted by trauma and loss. I have known Anthony since my very first days on the Rapid Response Network, when together we walked a Goleta neighborhood looking for ICE after spotting a suspicious car. Do you remember that one? Anthony will be teaching our patrollers how to react if we get bear sprayed, and somebody in this audience had that experience already. You can ask him about this in the Q&A. So I've asked our speakers to share a bit of their personal family stories with us today. Many of us have learned the family story of Anthony Jose Vargas by reading his book, Dear America. And now we have the opportunity to hear more stories of immigration. Plus, Anna and Anthony will be staying to talk with us informally after the service. So be sure to grab some coffee and a lovely treat and come back to the sanctuary. And you can bring that coffee and treat back into the sanctuary with you. Okay.
Hello, everyone. Sorry I'm short, so I got to bring it down a little bit. So thank you guys for being here and inviting me. So just with my family, they came in 1965. One of the oldest aunts came over, and then she brought everybody else over, which was my grandfather and my aunts and my mom. They struggled as much as a lot of families do. And one thing that I remember as growing up as a kid is I was called a wetback and a poor reason. So poor reason because I'm half Puerto Rican, and obviously a wetback because I'm Mexican. And so that made it really difficult for my family to try to protect me because they didn't know if they had the rights to protect me. They were very secluded within themselves. I wasn't allowed to play outside in the front or have any friends over due to that fact. But also, too, there's some things that happen within the family. We don't like to talk about abuse or child abuse or anything like that. But I was a victim of child abuse and sexual abuse for many years, and that destroyed my family. And so it destroyed me in many different ways. But then, you grow up, you learn things, and things change. And when I had seen, the very first time I seen somebody being kidnapped, it literally destroyed me because I can never forget the person's eyes. The fear, the confusion, the not knowing what was happening, it was just completely devastating to me. That week I couldn't think at all. I had a lot of work that I needed to get done. I didn't do it. I couldn't do it. I couldn't focus at all. And to remember that person's eyes, it's not okay for anybody to get taken. Nobody deserves that at all. And that angered me, but I also felt very incompetent. I felt like felt helpless. I didn't know what to do. And so I started going to these meetings, and I'm very grateful that I did, because let me tell you, I work with a lot of amazing people, strong people, dedicated people, people that have heart, people that know that nobody deserves to be treated that way. My first experience in Santa Barbara was I went to the grocery store just down the street, and a lady came up to me, a really nice, sweet-looking little old lady, and she goes, "Oh, wait, can I ask you a question?" I said, "Absolutely." And she goes, "Are you from LA?" And I said, "Yeah, why?" And at that time, yes, I was completely tatted all over my neck and my arms and everything like that. And I said yes. And she told me to get the hell out of here, that I didn't belong here, that I needed to go back to where I came from. And she went off on me that I was so surprised I didn't even know what to say. And she was screaming in my face, almost spitting in my face, and I thought she was gonna ask me to help her with the groceries, but no, that wasn't even like that. So I didn't want to move here, because of the fact, the way that I was treated. I didn't do anything, and nobody deserves to be treated that way, just because of the way that you look. But that's what happens, and it happens a lot, and it's not okay. You know, we're all human beings. We all have a heart. We all have struggles. Everybody does, and nobody has the right to judge anyone just because of what their struggles. You never know how much that person can change your life if you just gave them a chance. And so I'm very honored to be part of Santa Barbara Resiste, because I work with amazing people that I learned a lot from, and I see a lot of heart. And I'm gonna do whatever I can. I do have limitations, so if anybody has limitations of wanting to volunteer, it's okay. You know, I have my mom that's at end-stage Alzheimer's, that I know that I can't get myself in trouble because I'm the only one to take care of my aunts and my mom. But I still can do something. And I'm going to do whatever it takes to be able to protect whoever I can. You know, being a godfather to 73 godchildren, literally all the parents are all undocumented families. And every day that they walk out of their homes, they're scared. Every day I get a phone call asking, is it okay to go outside? During fiestas, a lot of our volunteers were crying because Santa Barbara Resiste came and supported. And they were crying because they said that they weren't criminals. They're not criminals. They're just here to try to give our families a better life. What parent wouldn't want to give their family or their kids a better life? There's nothing different. We're the ones that put those barriers that they need to bring down. So I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity. I'm happy to answer any other questions. And thank you for giving us this space and being willing to hear us out and giving us an opportunity. And so, thank you.
So it seems like I'm a little bit taller than Anthony. So thank you for having us here and being able to uplift SB Resiste today on this Sunday. So I wanted to start off by saying I was raised by a lot of very smart, strong, powerful women. And my mom, she was a single mom. And, you know, growing up, I didn't really understand. We didn't understand each other very well. She was, you know, Spanish speaking only, and her coming into this country, it was because of her older sister was already here. And so growing up, it was just like a lot of conflicting traditions and culture, and not really understanding why she would do the things she would do. And, you know, it brought a lot of conflict. And so going to school here in Santa Barbara, there's a lot of big Mexican community, but we're Central American, and I was raised by my Central American mother, even though I am also Mexican, but I didn't know anything about my Mexican side. So whenever I would tell my friends, you know, oh, I'm from Nicaragua, and they're like, oh, what part of Mexico is that from? And I'm like, no, it's in Central America. And they're like, oh, so you must love pupusas. And I'm like, no, that's from El Salvador. And so it got to a point that I didn't even want to share about my Central American side because it just brought up all these questions. And whenever I would ask my mom, well, Mom, can you at least tell me about how Nicaragua was like? Can you at least tell me about our family over there? And at that time, being a child, you just want to be able to share this information with others and be able to have those answers. But I didn't realize how painful it was for her to be able to share those with us because where she was from, it's not like, you know, the typical touristy place. It was a lot of poverty and a lot of pain and painful memories for her. So every time I would try to bring it up, it was just a painful reminder of her not being connected with her home country and everything she had to flee to get to this country, just to be treated like she was nothing, you know? And so it brought me a lot of confusion. She's like, well, you're American, just like do what you need to do, and it was a lot of that Americanism. I'm a millennial, so I grew up like with the melting pot, and it's like, we're all beautiful, we don't see color, and we know that was not okay either. And so luckily, like I said, I grew up with a lot of very strong women who reminded me that I am wonderful the way I am strong, and I am capable. And so learning from them and learning from them giving me the opportunity to give my mom grace. Now that I'm a mom, I'm like, okay, how am I giving myself grace? How am I giving my daughter grace? When she doesn't understand the things that I may think are ways to protect her. And if my mom was still here at this moment, I think about like, how would I show up for my mom, during these moments with these raids. I'm like, I think back like, wow, my mom always wanted to keep me inside and like protect me, and like keep me from like learning things. But now I'm like, wow, if my mom was still alive, like I probably would want to hide her away too, and I wouldn't want her to be going out, and I would want to do everything in my power to like protect her completely, and so it gives me that different perspective now as as I'm growing up and like realizing like, okay, there's so many, my story, like I said, is not unique. And like Anthony said, we're not unique in our experiences, but what's unique about us is that we are constantly reminded that we're not alone, because of all those powerful, strong women like Chelsea, like Ana Garcia, like my friend, and her mom, and seeing their journey. And it's like, it reminds us of how powerful we are together. And when we lead with that power and we remind ourselves that we are a community and we are deserving of being here and like not feeling fear every single day, that guides us through. And so, thank you for SB Resiste. SB Resiste with like zero funding, zero resources, zero everything. They found a way because, we are a strong community, and we were able to create like these networks together and say, there's a need. How can we meet that need? How can we remind our youth, our families that like you belong here every single day? Whenever we go out, we're greeted with thank yous, and like, because Ana and I have the same name, they're always like, oh my gosh, Ana, like, thank you for everything you're doing. And I'm like, oh, that wasn't me, that was the other Ana, but I'll let her know, But it just warms my heart, and like, they see, my neighbors see me with my carrito, and they're like, oh, gracias, Ana. And I'm like, no, thank you, like, here, like, spread it out, because we need that. We need to protect each other, and we need to protect our communities and show up. And like Anthony says, even if it's not monetary, of course, we do need the funding. We do it from the bottom of our hearts, but money also helps. But if not, we have volunteers who aren't able to go out and they knit items for the patrollers, or they, provide resources, or they're really good at grant writing, or whatever it is, whatever your gift is. We're not telling you to learn it, how to be an accountant, where whatever it is you already have in your heart, use that gift to give back to your community, even if it's just sharing with your neighbors, did you know this is going on? Did you know this is how the vehicles look like? Even that is important. And we have volunteers from all ages and walks of life, and it's important that we are centered in this moment in protecting our community. So thank you all for being here and for hearing from us, and we appreciate your time.